Hello everybody, welcome back to my movie review series. Today we'll be discussing the 1517 to Paris, to Paris movie review. Just finished watching it on Netflix. I'm going to give you the relevant history. This is one of those based on true events. So I'll read the actual history of the event, and I'll give you my overall grade and impressions. And then if you want to go watch the movie based on my recommendation or just on anything else, then you're going to turn off the video because I'm going to be doing spoiler alerts. I'll give you the plot synopsis best I can remember it, and some similar movies that we'll discuss at the end. So, meant to have this, I literally have the other thing up, but it says, on August 21st, 2015, the world watches in stunned silence as the media reports a thwarted terrorist attack on a train that's bound for Paris. An attempt prevented by 3 young Americans traveling together through Europe. The heroic and courageous actions of Anthony Sadler, Alex Skarlatos, and Spencer Stone helped save the lives of more than 500 passengers on board. And where's the actual? On the Wikipedia, it says, The 1517 to Paris is a 2018 American biographical drama film produced and directed by Clint Eastwood and written by Dorothy Blysko. Based on the 2016 autobiography, The 1517 to Paris, The True Story of a Terrorist, A Train and 3 American Heroes by Jeffrey E. Stern, Spencer Stone, Anthony Sadler, and Alex Skarlatos. The film stars Stone, Sadler, and Skarlatos as themselves and follows the trio through life leading up to and including their stopping of the 2015 Thales train attack. Judy Greer and Jenna Fischer also star. So, again, I think obviously terrorist attacks and bombings and shit are terrible real-life events, but I do think it makes for good movies. I mean, it just the intensity of watching something that you know is based on a real story, I just think gives the acting a little more oomph. And so it was really cool to see these are the actual people playing themselves. So that's kind of a first, except for Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage, but not professional actors playing themselves. I didn't know that till the end, and I thought that was cool. So again, I like the genre. Unfortunately, it's based on real stuff, but I think it gives for good movie content. So overall, I'll give it a B. I was gonna give it a B minus, but since they played themselves, I'll give it a B. Thoroughly entertaining. I liked it. The actual attack was pretty brief, so I guess that's why the attack. Like in the other ones, in my similar movies, Patriots Day, which was about the Boston bombing, and Hotel Mumbai, which is about another terrorist attack in India. But like this one, the attack and the chase were a lot longer, so that was the bulk of the movie. And this one's more about leading up to the attack because the attack was very brief. So overall, B. Generally liked it. I thought it was good, and I like the genre in general. So now, if you've not seen the movie and want to go watch it, I recommend you turn off the video now because now there's getting spoiler alerts. So now for the plot synopsis. The movie starts out, there's a lot of cutback scenes. They jump around between when they're young kids, when they're adults and the attack's beginning to happen, and like adults, but before the attack happens as well. So you only get a couple scenes. You know, pretty early on in the movie, you see a guy going into the bathroom on the train, a Moroccan. I forget the terrorist's name. What was the dude's name? Whatever, I can't find it. But you see him come out, he's a Moroccan, comes out, he's shirtless, he's got an AK-47, a sidearm, and a knife as well. So he comes out of the bathroom, some guys are wondering, why is this person taking so long in the bathroom? He comes out, and they see he's heavily armed, and they start to attack him. He shoots one guy in the back. Well, originally they wrestle away the AK, and then he pulls out the sidearm and shoots the guy in the back. And then you flash back to when Spencer, Alec, and Anthony are all kids. So the movie starts out, again, you have Heidi Skarlatos, again, Jenna Fischer, and Joyce Judy Greer. I can't remember, Judy Greer, I'm sure she's in a bunch of things, but I definitely seen her, what's the piece of work that she's done that I remember her from? I can't put my finger on it, maybe 2.5 Men, maybe not. But Judy Greer, I'm sure she's done other things, but I couldn't remember where exactly, where I know her from in terms of making movies and TV shows. But you start off, and Alec and Spencer are good friends, and they they left one school because they were kind of making trouble or just not paying attention. They go into, the teacher's like, your kid's have ADD, and then both Joyce and Heidi are in there, you know, talking about their sons, and they're not having anything to do with the teacher, so they storm out and leave. So then they go to a Catholic school, and that's where they meet Anthony. So Anthony's been going to the principal's office a lot, and they're probably, I don't know, middle school, I don't know, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, probably 4th to 6th grade age. And so they kind of meet up, you know, Alec and Spencer are talking outside the hall. They get sent to the principal's for not having a hall pass. Anthony gets sent to the principal's office. When they first meet him, he's coming out of the principal's office. They have a scene in the gym where there's a basketball teacher, and Anthony's saying some bad words as a 6th grader. So he gets sent back to the principal's office, and Spencer and Alec find it funny, so they also get sent to the principal's office. But they become friends. They play airsoft. Spencer shows Anthony his real shotgun. They play airsoft a bunch. You know, I think they get in trouble for toilet papering one time. But they all bond really, really young in school. And so then past the initial, like, younger days, and then Alec gets sent away. Basically, because of his schoolwork, the principal at the Catholic school recommends that he goes live with his father in Oregon, I believe. So again, Alec and Spencer, see you later. This is not goodbye. It's just goodbye for now. And so I think that's kind of like the last scenes from when they're young. And then the bulk of the movie is their adult life leading up to the attack. So basically, starting off, you have Spencer working at Jamba Juice. He has a Marine come in. He buys him he says the smoothie's on the house, but he has to pay for it. And then he's like, you know, I'm gonna join the Army, and he wants to be like a pararescue person. They call it PG or PG, I believe. I forget what it stands for, but it's something in the Air Force that does like search and rescue type of missions. And so that's Spencer's thing. He tells Anthony and Alec, they're both like, Spencer, we think you can do it, but you've never really done anything, so, you know, let us know when you make some progress. So he works out, he loses weight, I don't know, goes from 230 to 200 or something, but gets in good physical shape, busts his butt to get fit and ready for the qualifying exams and tests for the Air Force, and he passes them all except for like the depth perception. So they do all the physical fitness, and then they give him a sheet that basically says, you know, here's what you qualify for in the Army or in the, you know, whatever branch of military you're in. And so he doesn't qualify for the thing that he wants, and then he gets put on something like evacuation, medical, search, like some other type of thing that's one less than what he wanted. He goes in there, he oversleeps one day, and then they have to like stitch a rescue patch, and his stitches weren't tight enough. So he gets eliminated from that branch of the military and gets sent somewhere else once again. And so now he's doing that. Alec, he's also in the military. You don't really get much, at least to me, you didn't get much background about like what Alec's goals or how he got into the military or like what he was doing there. But he's also in the military, clearly. And I think he's stationed in Germany, or he had family history in Germany or something. But Spencer and Alec, you know, they Zoom call and they talk to each other. Anthony sat there, it's not really clear what he's doing professionally in his later life. So basically, there's a false alarm of a shooter on the base that Spencer's at. The buzzer goes off, they all hide on the desk, and Spencer gets a ballpoint pen, stands by the door, go for the throat. Respectable move. Probably should have there's another dude in the room that has a knife. Probably should have asked him for the knife if you're going to go stand by the door and go for it. Not the ballpoint pen. But it turned out to be a false event. There was an active shooter, but just not on the actual military base. And so it's a false flag, and they're all clear. And so then basically, you know, they're on a Zoom call, and Spencer's like, Alec, you got the summer off. Let's hit up Anthony. Anthony said he's too broke, but let's do a backpacking trip around Europe. So after some resistance, they all agree to do so. So the first place they hit is Italy, I believe. They meet a friend, Roma, Lisa, they meet her in Rome, and they basically, you know, just do tourist things, go see not the mausoleum, no, the gladiator thing, just the different historical things. They get some beers, they make a friend, Lisa, and they just explore Rome. After Rome, I believe they go to I think they meet up with, because Alec meets up with him in Germany. He's got a German exchange student friend. She doesn't have a name, that stays with her for a couple days, and they meet up, I believe, in Germany. And then they go from Germany, and they meet this old dude at a bar, or a hostel bar, but an old dude is talking up Amsterdam. So they hit up Amsterdam they weren't planning on their trip, but they hit up Amsterdam anyway. They have a great night, they party a lot, meet some girls, wake up the next morning extremely hungover. They might have gone to one other place, I don't know. They might have gone to Spain or something. I think it doesn't really matter. But they wake up really hungover, and then they start debating should they go to Paris. I think it was Paris that was the next point on their trip, and then Spain to finish it off. And so, somewhere in Venice, Italy, or wherever, Spencer is talking to Anthony about how he was called for a greater purpose on top of the thing. And when they're hungover in Amsterdam, he's like, oh yeah, I was feeling the European vibes, I don't know what I was thinking. But they debate just cutting their trip short or not going to Paris because, they had been getting bad reviews. But they decide, after getting some more resistance, they decide to go to Paris. So they get on the train, they help an older gentleman get seated, and the train ride starts. And so they're in coach economy class where they'd be really close to where the shooter was. And again, you've seen a flashback scene, so you see where they're sitting. So they're really, really close to the porta potty or the bathroom where the gunman was getting geared up. But the Wi-Fi was pretty bad, so they relocated towards the front of the train. And so they go to the front of the train to get better Wi-Fi, which, I don't know, can you just casually just upgrade yourself to first class if no one's sitting there? But not a big deal. And so they go up there, and then you get to the flashback scene where a Moroccan terrorist comes out of the bathroom. There's two guys standing there waiting to go to the bathroom. They see what he's about to do, so they wrestle the AK from him. They get shot in the back with the pistol. And so the terrorist then picks up the AK again, and right, people are running and screaming, and Spencer, Alec, and Anthony are farther up on the train. And so then once they see what's happening, Spencer's they'll crouch down on the seats, getting ready to jump into action. Spencer charges the guy with the AK, the rifle jams, pulls the trigger, nothing comes out. So Spencer gets extremely lucky there, and then tackles the dude. And so he's wrestling him, and Spencer's a pretty big dude, again, probably 200 to 220, pretty tall, I don't know, I'm guessing 6'2", 6'3". So a pretty big dude, substantially physically bigger than the terrorist guy, and so he's wrestling the gun. Then Alec, again, who's also in the military, and Anthony come back to help. So in the struggle, again, they quickly pretty much get the AK away from him. He has the pistol, he tries to shoot Spencer in the head with that, kind of misses, and his last resort is a knife. So he slices Spencer's thumb very bad, almost cuts it off, and then try to cut Spencer's neck from behind, cuts him up a little bit, but not severely, doesn't hit the arteries or anything, because Spencer's not knocked out or anything. He's at it in a pretty substantial chokehold. So I'm guessing this is just, this part is at least just dramatic liberty. But literally, Spencer's got the terrorist in a chokehold. They basically de-arm him completely. And then Alec is just pistol whipping him, and Anthony's punching him, and he's like, the terrorist wouldn't last that long. If he had a real fucking gun and he wanted to pistol whip or hit him with the butt, 1 or 2 shots, and again, he's in a chokehold, so it's not like he's missing. He'd be knocked out or dead very, very fucking quick. So that might have been a little dramatic liberty there, but again, the attack wasn't long. Thankfully, in real life, they stopped the attack. But, so Spencer gets cut up a little bit, they subdue the attacker, the guy that gets shot in the back, Spencer, EMT field training of keeping him alive, holding the artery shut with his hands. They make it to Paris, and then they get the EMTs and they get help. So Spencer gets cut up pretty big. Alec and Anthony, I'm pretty sure, just have minor injuries. And the only real big plot hole to me was just how many times you could hit the guy in the face with the butt of a gun and not knock out or kill him, cave his skull in. So, but they get to Paris. I believe the man lives. I don't know. I didn't check in real life, but I think in the movie he lives. And Spencer again has some injuries, not severely, not life-threatening. And Alec and Anthony have minor injuries. So they get the Medal of Honor in France words. And some bonjour, 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 honor. Yeah, they get some honor, and there's just a presentation. Their mothers are there. And they get the highest award for French courage and excellency, defending liberty, freedom, equality, equalité, bonjour. But that pretty much wraps up the film. Again, all in all, again, this type of movie I really like because if it's based on a real story, I just think it gives better edge. I was going to give it a B-, but since they're played by the actual people who did it, bumped it up to a B. So again, thoroughly enjoy it, definitely recommend it, and hopefully there's no more terrorist attacks. But does it look likely? Mass shootings in Ohio or in America every 2 seconds. But other similar movies, two of them that just jumped out for sure were Patriots Day with Mark Wahlberg about the Boston bombing and Hotel Mumbai. I remember really liking both of these movies, again, because they're based on real things, and like the actual pursuit of the Boston bombers went on a run for a while, and they hit onto the boat, so there was a lot more of just the actual action of the historical event. And same with Hotel Mumbai. Both of these movies, I haven't watched them in years, but I'd put both of these in the A- or B+ range for sure. So, thoroughly like it, and I hope you check out the 15 to 17 to Paris if you want to. Thank you for watching the movie review.